Welcome to The Author Show, where we present new authors and books. From fiction to self-help and everything in between, you'll find it all here. To watch the TV version of our program, visit authorswebtv.com. That's authorswebtv.com. And now, let the show begin.
Hi, this is Linda Thompson, your host for The Author Show. Today, we are going to talk about Theodore Roberts and the Key to the Imaginary Door, the new book by guest author J.R. Robinson. Teddy Roberts is on the verge of crossing over to the world of grown-ups, and his childlike imagination is fading with every passing year. What will happen to Teddy when he gets older? Well, let's find out from Teddy's creator. J.R., welcome to the Author Show.
Good morning, Linda.
J.R., please share with our listeners a quick overview of Theodore Roberts and the Key to the Imaginary Door.
Theodore Roberts and the Key to the Imaginary Door is basically a story about a young boy who is getting to that point in life where he is no longer believing in the magic of the imagination that he had when he was a child. He is having a very hard time with this, trying to figure out whether or not he wants to still stay in the land of childhood dreams or if he really does want to grow up. He ends up moving to a new house that his mother takes him to after the passing of his father, and he stumbles upon a set of rusted gates that takes him into a world of complete and total fantasy. During the time, he is brought about to go on a quest in order to save the magical creatures of this land from a horrible evil that came to them many, many years ago. And he has to figure out how to be able to help them, considering that they tell him that the reason that he's there is because his imagination is the most powerful thing that he could possibly ever have. And he has to go through and decide what he's going to do in order to save them, or if he's just going to leave the land and let them go forever.
Did you have a particular age group in mind while you were writing your book?
I did. I actually wrote the book for children who are actually going to be going through this time in their life really soon. It's basically a book for all ages, in truth, whether you still have your great imagination as a child or you're going to go through maybe the little bit of the grown-up aspect, or if by chance you're a full-on grown-up who only remembers what it used to be in order to have that type of imagination.
Your bio says you are a successful business owner, so why would you write a tween and teen fantasy book?
Because I love storytelling. It's been one of my most favorite things since I was around the age of 7.
How would you describe your writing style?
I actually don't have one. I actually am one of those horrible writers who who actually puts an idea on paper. I don't have any outline for it, and I just let the story unfold as it is.
Sometimes that's the best way. So if you were letting your imagination roll and you were writing an article about Theodore Roberts and the Key to the Imaginary Door, what would that headline be?
Ooh, that is an excellent, excellent question. It would probably be to never forget what it is like to be a child.
Another good lesson. Are your characters straight from your imagination, or do they resemble people you know?
This book actually is basically from my imagination. When I was a child, I was a latchkey kid, so I had a lot of time to myself, and I was always taught that being a child was one of the most precious things that you could ever have, and you always had magical powers that you could do anything with. So I would say, yeah, these characters actually came full force from my mind.
Is there another author that may have influenced your desire to write a fantasy book?
Yes, I actually fell madly in love with the Harry Potter series when it came out. I was already a grown adult when it came out and picked it up at an airport one day and didn't stop reading it until I actually went to the midnight publications where you could actually go and buy the book at midnight when it first came out. I was enthralled that a book like that could captivate every age group possible and that the books were the size of just like the Count of Monte Cristo books.
Will Teddy return in a sequel or a series?
Yes, he will. There should actually be 3 books in the series. Right now, I have a couple of other projects that are coming up, so that might be... I need to see how it is received in the communities first, but yes.
What would you say would be the primary message you want readers of your book to remember about Teddy?
Throughout everything, he had to make his own decisions on whether or not he was going to keep his imagination for a lifetime or whether or not he was just going to let it go and grow up. Because the thought process behind the book is this main character has a really, really critical decision to make. He can either go for the logic side of things or the magic side of things, but what if there was a capability to be able to keep both forever?
So even though Teddy is growing into young adulthood, you've got a message here that's really for all ages. Am I correct?
Yes, agreed.
What type of feedback have you had so far from readers of Theodore Roberts and the Key to the Imaginary Door?
I have gotten some feedback from, I am doing a virtual tour on the book, and one of the reviews was that they believed that the book was too short. Actually, two of the reviews that I got said that they would have loved to have seen the book be longer. One of them said that she wasn't quite sure on certain things. All of the other reviews that I have gotten from people seem that the message is definitely getting across. They're all adults. They've greatly enjoyed the book. They like the characters, and they like the description that's in the book that basically allows your mind to see the world completely.
My thought is that if you're targeting young readers, they do not have the patience to read a fairly good-sized novel. So was that your intent for making the book short?
Yes, I needed it to be short and concise. I needed it to have a lot of description so that way they could see it, because kids can see fabulous lands in their minds. I needed it to constantly flow. I could not allow for a boring scene to be within the book because I would have instantly lost a young reader.
It sounds like you know kids pretty well. What's your experience?
I was an only child throughout most of my life before my brothers were born many, many years after me. And my mother was a single mom who worked all the time in order for us to survive. So I had a lot of time by myself and was always alone. And because of that, I just was able to, instead of making it into a bad light, I was capable of making it into any kind of world that I wanted it to be.
So where can we learn more about you, and where can we purchase Theodore Roberts and the Key to the Imaginary Door?
Well, more about me, there is actually going to be a whole bunch of social media going up. Things like Facebook for the authors' pages, Twitter accounts will also be up and running. I will have a blog and probably a website for the book and all the other books that are coming up, because there are a couple more that will be coming in the next year or so. In regards to where the book can be purchased, it is actually available online. You can get it in paperback through barnesandnoble.com. You can also get it as an ebook on their Nook book for Barnes & Noble. You can purchase it on Amazon.com in paperback and on the Kindle Fire as well through Amazon. The other places that you can get it, there is a self-publishing company called Outskirts Press. My book is also available on their website as well.
In the minute we have left, please share with our listeners one thing about your book that will be an incentive for them to share it with their kids or their grandkids.
An imagination is a great thing. It's a horrible thing to waste, and I think that all children should get that experience to be able to see a new land and come to understand that that came from somebody's mind, and that anything can come from their own minds. They can create anything that they wish.
JR, it's been delightful talking with you today. Thank you for sharing Teddy's story with us, and please consider coming back when you publish your next one.
Thank you very much, Linda. I greatly appreciate your time. I had a good time. Thanks.
The power of imagination and the good it can do is a major theme in this story. Teddy learns that there is a great power in holding on to that childish concept. JR wrote her book to help people understand that imagination is useful at all ages, that it is not something to put away after you reach a certain age. Though it is aimed at older kids and teens, some adults also need to hear that imagination is well worth holding on to. This is Linda Thompson, concluding another edition of The Author Show. Please share this interview with your friends and family so that they too may have the opportunity to discover our guest and her work. And why not help spread the word on social media as well? Please join us again next time for another exciting author and another great book on The Author Show.
Thanks for listening to The Author Show. To contact us, call toll-free 1-877-955-8800. That's 877-955-8800. Or visit theauthorshow.com. That's theauthorshow.com. Tune in next time to another great author on The Author Show.